Okay, the last part in the series for week 2, part 5, know thy users. The important takeaway here is that attitudes and behaviors are different. They're not the same. There's attitudes, which is what people say about how they like to do things, about what they like or dislike, about anything really, a process, a system, an app, what they're trying to do, the problem, other people, their beliefs, right? Attitudes are what they say and think. So an example of one of my attitudes is that I really don't like to be on my phone all the time. Like, I think constantly picking my phone up throughout the day and looking at it is a waste of time, and I don't like doing it. So I hate it and I try to avoid it. So I have this attitude that I don't want to be on my phone all day. But what's my behavior? I pick my phone up an average of 38 times a day. When I look at the statistics on my iPhone, I spend like 3 hours a day on my phone. So even though my attitude is that I don't think it's a good thing for me personally to be on my phone all day, constantly picking it up and looking at things, because for me personally, it throws me off track and makes me feel bad, my behavior is not that. What I actually do is pick my phone up all the time. I'm on it all the time. It's constantly distracting me. So the attitudes are different from my behaviors. Behaviors are what people actually do. And they're both important, right? You have to balance what people believe with what they do. If you only looked at my behaviors and saw that I was on my phone 38 times a day, which is probably not even that high compared to a lot of people, but for me, it's more than I want. If you just see that I'm on it 38 times a day, you could make the wrong assumption about me. You could think, oh, she loves being on her phone. Look at that. She picks it up all the time. But I don't. So if you're designing an app that goes on my phone, you have to balance me being on it all the time with me not necessarily enjoying being on it all the time and not liking it to have notifications and things like that. So you have to balance the attitudes with the behaviors. And in design thinking, it's really important to observe our users, to go out to the people who are experiencing the problem, find out what they're trying to do, and observe what is going on that is preventing them from doing it. And there's different methods. Some methods get more at attitudes, and some methods uncover more of the behaviors, and those are different methods. So just wanted to point out this week the difference between those two things. Attitudes tell us how someone feels about the process they're undertaking, about the problem, about what they're trying to do, about maybe current solutions that aren't working for them. Behavior is what people actually do. And as design thinkers, we need to be aware of and leverage both. We need to be able to understand the difference between what people say and think, their attitudes, and what they actually do, their behaviors. So there's various methods for doing that. And next week, we're going to do a design activity that is more attitudinal in nature. So it's more about what people say and what they're thinking and feeling, and less about their actual behavior. But there's different methods for determining each of these things. You'll notice that the attitude methods tend to be more talking. So, having focus groups and talking to people, using interviews, surveys, it's more communication and talking to people about things. Behavioral is more of direct observation. So eye tracking, watching where their eye looks on a screen as they're using our website. Usability studies, giving them a website or another digital product, or it doesn't have to be digital, it can be any kind of solution really, and asking them to use it and watching how they're using it. So attitudinal tends to be communicative, talking. Behavioral tends to be observing, visual, watching. And we need to balance both as design thinkers, both when we're discovering problems and we're testing solutions. So just keep in mind that attitudes and behaviors, they're not the same.